The biggest mistake that most Indian marketing agency owners make when it comes to pricing their advice or services is that they think that if I want to increase my prices, then I need to basically offer more stuff. If I want my services to appear more and more valuable, then what I need to do is I need to keep on adding more features, more services, more things that I could basically offer to my customers. And that is when they will get impressed and that is when they will give me the business. Okay. So imagine as if your offer or whatever you're offering is like a bag. Okay, and it consists of various kind of vegetables that you are buying from a grocery store. So what most people think is that if I add more vegetables to this particular bag, which basically means more stuff, then what will happen is the value of whatever advice or services that I'm offering will automatically increase. Now this is a big misconception. Okay, and I'll tell you why. Because what happens is a lot of people think that this would actually impress my customers. But the fact is that this creates more complexity, leads to delay in launch and user validation, and it increases costs. Because let's suppose if you are offering SEO service, you're offering YouTube marketing, you're offering Facebook ad services, you're offering YouTube ad services, and then maybe you're offering some graphic design services as well. To fulfill all these components and deliver outcomes to your customers, it takes a lot of manpower, it takes a lot of complexity, it takes a lot of money. And if you at such a young stage of your career think that if I keep on doing more and more of these things, this will sort of impress my customers and I will actually be able to charge more, you are highly mistaken. The second issue is that a lot of agency owners don't know what features to actually prioritize on when they are offering and how much to actually go about charging for the same. And that is exactly what I want to cover in this particular video. So my recommendation is, instead of thinking that if I add feature 1, feature 2, right, then I will be able to increase the pricing to whatever I want to charge, just get rid of this approach. And what I want you to adopt is a new ideology, which is called as value based pricing. Okay. So let's suppose that I'm offering feature 1, feature 2, and then feature 3, right? It is my natural assumption that, hey, by adding all these features, I will be able to increase the cost. But the fact of the matter is that let's suppose over here, you are offering SEO service, then you are offering, let's suppose, Facebook advertisement service, right? And then let's suppose you are offering, graphic designing service. And then you are offering IT service, or maybe you're offering Internet of Things or whatever. What you'll have to do is you'll have to assemble teams for this, and then you'll have to build its own marketing channels. And again, same for this, you'll have to build a team of its own, then you'll have to build its own marketing channel, and then you'll have to build its own, then you'll have to build its own marketing channel and whatnot. So as you can see, this is going to be like very complex for any kind of startup to actually function. So an easier approach is to go with something which I call as value-based pricing. Okay. Now, according to this pricing, right, what you are doing is you're not going with any approach like, for example, Rohan, I should charge hourly pricing to my customers. Rohan, I should actually, do like a low ticket pricing. Rohan, I should do monthly recurring. I think, stack more and more features. Okay. None of this really matters and your client doesn't care about. So if you had to like really boil into the fundamentals, what exactly does your customer care about? Well, your customer, all they care about is that they are stuck in this island, right? Call this island 1. Okay. And over here, there is lack of food, lack of shelter, and they are basically not very happy with the current situation of their business. And for most people, especially if you're running a marketing agency, the biggest issue is lack of leads, lack of inquiries, lack of eyeballs, lack of branding. They all want to go to this particular island too, where they will have more abundance, more leads, more branding, more presence, and as a result, more opportunities. Now, as a agency owner, what you need to do is you need to basically build a pathway that allows somebody to go from island number 1 to island number 2. And you need to ensure that this path that they are doing or going to follow would be simple, right? Because again, if it's not simple, then a lot of people won't cross this. And as a result, it just won't do that. It is fast, okay? And the last one is that compared to the outcome and the ROI that they will get, it should be cheap and justifiable in their balance sheet. Okay. Now, if your solution is very, very complicated, where you are offering, like 50,000 different kind of features and services, guess what? People would not want to actually go for it. If your solution is very, very slow and it takes like 6 months to get results, 1 year to get results, guess what? People just won't actually pay for it. And if it is very, very expensive, where, for example, ROI that somebody will make from your services would be, let's suppose, 1 lakh rupees, but the cost to actually give you money or actually render this would be 50 lakh rupees, nobody will actually go for that particular solution. So you need to remember the rule of SFC, simple, fast, cheap. Okay. And when you are able to do that, and then you pair this up with some sort of guarantee that, hey, I will help you achieve this outcome and I guarantee that this will work. And if it doesn't work, then you don't pay. Then you become in a good position where you can actually use value-based pricing in order to charge for your advice and services. So this basically means that, hey, Mr. Business Owner or Mrs. Business Owner, if I can help you go from island number 1 to island number 2, rather than thinking about, whether I do hourly pricing, whether I do A service, whether I do B service, whether I do feature A, feature C, feature D, look, I am guaranteeing you this particular outcome, that you will be able to go from island number 1 to island number 2. And right now, island number 1 is a situation where you are, let's suppose, doing 10 lakhs a month in revenue. And island number 2 is where you are able to do 50 lakhs per month in revenue. Okay. So this means I'm able to, if we are able to actually do this successfully, I'm able to actually grow your business by at least 5 times. And if I'm able to do that successfully, then according to my value, right, what I deserve is at least 10% of the value. So in order to help somebody go from 10 lakhs a month to 50 lakhs a month, right, what is the difference? The difference is of at least 40 lakhs. Right? And in exchange of being able to do that, I want to charge 10% of this, which is at least 4 lakhs. Okay. And this becomes your bare minimum pricing, which is based around what is the end outcome that you're delivering to this particular customer, rather than thinking about, oh, because, service A costs this much, then service B costs that much, and that's why I'm adding feature A and C. And that is the reason why you want to actually do this. Because think about this. The other day, I was at the car showroom and I was thinking, hey, which car I should actually buy, right? And there was this like one salesman that I met, and he was like, Rohan, like when you actually buy this particular car, like, the horsepower is, 190, the mileage is this much, 8 kilometers, it has this much torque, and, this is the design, it was assembled in, I don't know, Italy or whatever, right? So that was this one salesperson, and he was like trying to explain me all these features. And don't get me wrong, with some car enthusiasts, right, people who are like really, really into it, for sure, that might have worked. But the number of people who know that much about, this particular subject are probably finite. For most people who are general individuals like me, they just want like, a great experience. So that's why when this salesman tried to actually present me all these features, I just like said absolutely no. Then what I did is I went to another showroom, and that particular salesperson was like, okay, so which car are you interested in? The first thing that he did is, rather than giving me all these features and jargons, he decided to really understand, Rohan, what is your preference? What exactly are you looking for? And I told him that, hey, I'm in my 20s. I'm looking for something sporty, but at the same time, I don't want something that breaks too easily, or the servicing is very, very complicated, and it becomes very, very difficult for me to drive on a regular basis. And then, he went around, he came back to me, and then he showed me like, a couple of cars, and he's like, check this out. You know what, Rohan? This specific car, I really, really think would be best because of your age. Since you're a young entrepreneur, you would actually love to drive this particular car. It also has it allows you to actually reach your destination because it has a very comfortable drive, but at the same time, it also gives that sporty look, so that when you actually go out to your friends in club, everybody actually looks around and says, wow, what kind of car is that? It has great aesthetics, and you would actually love that. And since I promise you that whenever you drive this car, you would actually get that attention, you would get that comfort, and as a result, you will never be late for your meetings. You will always, get appreciation from your customers, and as a result of that, this will allow you to actually become even more successful in your business. Now, of course, the question is, how will a car really help me become more successful in my business, right? Probably, of course, he can't connect the dots that way. But technically, the way he presented that to me, it made me feel like, wow, if I actually carry that car to my meetings, it will actually make me feel good, which means that my clients would think great of me, and as a result, they might give me repetitive business. It might or may not be true, but the fact is, the way that second salesperson presented that to me and made me visualize the outcome of me being able to drive that car was a lot better than the salesperson number one, who was absolutely obsessed about features. And guess what? Which salesperson was I convinced by? Which salesperson I was like, wow, this is exactly the kind of car I want to go after. It was salesperson number two. And that is when that person then revealed the price. Now, for you to be able to actually, experience this luxury and that comfort and that sportiness, it's going to cost you X amount, right? And as a result of that, I didn't even think twice, and I thought, okay, this is something that I want to go forward with, right? But on the other hand, of that other person, he was too obsessed. Sir, this A part we got from Italy, it cost 50,000 rupees. This B part we actually got from this other country. To actually build this machinery, it costs that much. And they were just trying to justify their positioning by lining up those features after features after features. And that did not help me at all. And as a result, that salesperson lost that sale. So my recommendation is, look at what is going to be the final outcome that you can deliver to your customers. And usually, if you're running a marketing agency, it should be mostly in monetary terms. Okay. Now you might be thinking, but Rohan, I run a social media marketing agency, or I run a UI UX design agency. I don't think I will be able to actually promise monetary terms at all. Well, that is because you're thinking about it in the wrong way. Let's suppose that person that you're working with is making 10 lakhs a month, and they are getting a 0.5% conversion for every 100 clicks that they are getting on their website because of their shit UI UX design. You come into the picture and you help them get a 0.5% lift off, because of which the CTR on their or the click-through rate on their website actually becomes 1%, right? Now, as a result, their business actually increases, because for those same 100 clicks that they are getting, right, rather than getting, half a sale, or for every 200 clicks, one sale, this person is now able to get one sale for every 100 customers. This means their cost per acquisition has reduced, and their profits have improved, and their revenue has improved. All that happened just because of you being able to put in the efforts. Now, the question is, for, if they are able to actually do this, and as a result, they grew their business from 10 lakhs to 50 lakhs a month, do you think charging 10% of that increase in value is worth it? Absolutely it is. And that is the reason why I do not recommend to anybody to be obsessed about all these features. See, nobody cares about that. Nobody even cares about how many hours you work on a particular project as well. For example, some people say, Rohan, I think you should pay me a lot of money because I have put in hundreds of hours for this particular project. So are you trying to say that if, let's suppose, somebody can actually come into the picture and produce that high quality at 1/10 of the hours, but the quality remains the same, because of which that business is able to grow to 50 lakhs a month in revenue, do you think you should charge less? Absolutely not. So your number of hours and the features that you offer in your service has nothing to do with your pricing. All that matters is the end value that you can provide to your customer. How delighted are they with that value? And are you able to deliver that value in a simple form, in a fast form, in a cheap form, and help them go from island 1 to island number 2? And if you are able to do that, you deserve charging at least 10% of the transformation that you actually deliver to your customers. So this is a new approach towards pricing. Think about this, reflect over it, and see that why offering more and more things is potentially not the best solution for your customers. What you should think about is, what will be the outcome of whatever I offer to my customers, and how can I charge at least bare minimum 10% of the same. Doesn't matter how many features you include, doesn't matter how many hours you work. Try this particular approach and let me know in the comment section if it works out for you, and do share it with a friend or a family member who is also running an agency in India, or maybe they are planning to actually start one. Rohan Dhawan here, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.